There's a prolific shoplifter in the Portland area that detectives have nicknamed the Hamburglar. They gave him that title after catching him stealing meat and seafood. Tonight, the Hamburglar is headed to prison for 4 years. As Kyla Boshi explains, retailers and police point to his case as an example of how the system is broken, how it lets shoplifters steal again and again without any serious consequences.
One of Portland's most prolific shoplifters, Barry Sanders, was sentenced to 4 years in prison. Detectives nicknamed Sanders the Hamburglar several years ago after catching him stealing meat and seafood from Portland area stores. Prosecutor Kevin Deemer warned Sanders will never change.
We build prisons for people like him.
The 60-year-old pleaded guilty to a felony theft charge after shoplifting from Fred Meyer in 2021. He also admitted violating probation after agreeing to stay out of stores he stole from, including Fred Meyer, Safeway, Target, Winco, and Home Depot. Previously, Sanders confessed in court papers he shoplifted more than 1,000 times from Portland area stores.
The only time he's not committing crimes is when he's in prison. That's for the last 10 years.
A KGW investigation in 2017 found retailers and police frustrated by a flawed system that allows shoplifters to reoffend without facing serious consequences. Sanders' criminal history helped illustrate the problem.
Would you say you're a professional thief?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because I know the law and I know the rules, that I know what I can and what I can't do.
In this police interview from 2016, Sanders admitted to a detective he'd figured out how to work the system.
Every time I get out of prison, detective, I steal. So you can send me back to prison again. Oh well, I get out again.
Portland retailers, big and small, have complained about the citywide problem of shoplifting. According to Portland police data, in the first 4 months of this year, there have been more than 1,300 shoplifting cases. That's an increase over the same period last year when there were 970 cases. Those losses impact customers with higher prices and put employees at risk. During sentencing, Sanders blamed his shoplifting on a drug addiction.
I'm Barry Sanders, and I'm not a violent whatever. I just suffer from addiction. That's it. That's all.
The judge responded, there are a lot of other drug addicts that don't steal, before sentencing Sanders to 4 years in prison.
Kyle joins us now. What a story. Obviously, this guy's got some sort of a drug problem. Is he getting any treatment for that?
So he has received treatment, extensive treatment, in fact, in and outside of prison. The problem is oftentimes he's not always willing to participate. There was a probation supervisor that testified during yesterday's sentencing that said most recently he walked away from that treatment. So the state feels like it's worked really hard to try and get him the help he needs.
Well, and finally, he's going to get locked up so that the retailers get the help they need. And it seems like everywhere we go, there's shoplifting. I've talked with a lot of people who work retail and say, you know, their people are not even allowed to chase shoplifters out of the stores. And it seems like it's happening everywhere. How come that's happening?
Really, when you talk to retailers, you talk to police and many others, a lot of it is fueled by drugs. People are stealing items to buy drugs to help fuel that habit. Also, as you mentioned, in many cases, retailers have now taken a hands-off approach. They don't want employees being at risk by trying to stop those shoplifters. Instead, they say, just let them go. We can handle the losses. It's not worth you getting hurt. And then also, police readily admit they don't have the resources to investigate and to go after these people time and time again.
So frustrating. That's why people think that it's lawless, that, you know, things are out of control. But I know they're not. But in this specific example, it sure seems like they are. Thanks, Kyle, for your great reporting, as always.